Hello, and happy Halloween, everyone! I, of course, am Stu, the humble host of Animation Triad. And with me, per usual, are...
Teddy D.
That's right. And... where's Lish? She knew we were doing this. Oh.
Hold on.
What? God! Okay, that was, unexpected.
I love apples.
And introducing guest star Willem Dafoe to join us. Please don't eat our souls.
Yes. Loved you in Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, you were great. Loved you in that. Oh, and what was that Wes Anderson film you were in? You've been in a lot of... God, you're scary. Okay, so
I woke up like this.
Oh.
Lish?
Yeah.
Oh God! Oh sweet Jesus! Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, well
Thank you. I
Oh,
guess I'm very convincing.
indeed you are. You know, just happy Halloween, everyone.
Hello!
Happy Halloween.
And welcome to Animation Triad.
Yeah. So today for Halloween, we thought we'd look at something truly terrifying that will scare the pants off of just about anyone who watches it. That being the 2017 Netflix adaptation, live action I might add, of Death Note. Oh, let's do a quick summary. Let's see how they describe it online. A high school student discovers a supernatural notebook that has deadly powers. He can kill anyone he wishes simply by inscribing their name within its pages. Intoxicated with his new power, he begins to eliminate those he deems unworthy of life. Not the most apt description.
No.
You kind of get the gist of it, but...
I feel like we're kind of coloring the review already. Let's start with the basics before we get into our opinions. The story follows still Light, like with the original Death Note, but instead of Light Yagami, it's Light Turner.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Your average kid who no one understands.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
not really.
Mm.
So, basically, they take it out of Japan and set it in America, so everybody gets American-sounding names.
America!
Fuck yeah!
Misa turns into Mia,
Mm-hmm.
like Yagami turns into like Turner. All stays the same in name only.
Yeah. I will say this about the name, though. If anyone could have stood to have their name changed, it would have been Light.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's just...
No, I agree.
It just seems so wrong. I mean, I know they have that throwaway line about your mother was something of a hippie.
Yeah.
That's the extent of which they explain it. But let's be honest, you could have called him Gary and it would have been fine.
Right.
I mean, if
I'm
you're
sorry.
already changing everything
If
else.
you're going to change everything else
Yeah.
about it, I mean, he
And
even
of
looked like a
course-
Gary.
Ryuk stays the same.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, Ryuk is voiced by Willem Dafoe in this.
Oh.
Hence why they mistook me for a
Right.
certain legendary
Yes.
actor.
And I will say this, by far my favorite part of the whole film was William Dafoe's performance as Ryuk.
Yeah.
Well, let's actually talk about the performances because honestly, I didn't hate their performances. I think it was well acted. I don't think it was well written
Entirely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
entirely. I mean, there were points of it that were just fine, I
Yeah.
think, and there were points that were actually funny or suspenseful.
Right.
But I don't think that it stayed true to a lot of the original sentiment.
No.
A lot of my hang-ups with it actually come from the way that they turned it into a teen angsty thing instead of a cat and mouse
Yeah.
thing.
I mean, the thing was, I felt like Light was relatable, and I didn't like that.
Yeah.
You know?
You're supposed to hate Light.
I actually found Light more relatable in the original, honestly.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I know that's gonna sound weird, especially when later on he becomes a downright sociopath. But
Yeah.
in the beginning, I actually related to him more, not in like a, oh, I know why you're doing these things, but like, I know why you're doing those
that's one
things.
of the
That's what I
interesting
would do
things,
too if I
is
were
just,
evil.
Like, the Light in the anime, he was this genius kid.
See why I
in
can
the
relate?
movie, in
Yeah.
the movie,
Yeah.
he's just some doofus who finds a book.
Right.
Yeah.
It's implied that he's smart, but the only way they make him seem smart is by making every other character around him dumb as a bag of potatoes.
Yeah.
Except for Mia. I actually
Yes.
kind of like what they did with her.
she was
Because,
the only-
like, she was diabolical.
She was.
She took over for Light's original role, I think. She
Yeah.
became diabolical instead of just like a pet turkey or something.
Pretty
Right.
much. In my opinion, and this is something that I know maybe some other people have pointed out, I've talked to a couple people online, they swapped Mia and Light's characters.
Pretty much.
Because
Basically.
they even took Mia's backstory and basically gave it to Light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the dead mom who he avenges, which
Right.
I'm like, that should have been a red flag for L later on, when he never addresses.
Right.
Or the bully who gets killed. Big
Right.
red flag pointing to him. But my biggest complaint with Light's character was the fact that, as you said, he's an idiot, pretty much. Throughout most of the movie, he basically just bumbles around.
And then we're supposed to believe that he orchestrated
Traded.
it all in the end.
No. And that
Spoiler,
orchestration at
sorry.
the end, no.
Yeah.
We're going to be giving spoilers for this, so don't worry about it.
We're saving you the trouble.
Yeah, we are.
More just take out spoiler. This is just warnings.
Yes. If you're a fan of the show and you go in watching this movie, you will have fits of unbearable rage, probably.
Yeah.
Could leave scarring.
But if you don't like the anime,
You might like the movie,
it's
actually.
watchable.
It's, I have
feel like
a
it
problem
had
with
some
it.
pacing issues.
Big time.
Yeah.
It spent most of the movie kind of reliving the first episode, but twisting the first episode
Yeah.
Probably-
of the anime.
I think that has to do with the fact that the director, Adam Wingard, has gone on record saying he basically wanted it to be a prequel of sorts.
What?
Yeah, he went on record in an interview saying he wanted this to be seen as something of a prequel for Death Note. Like, this is how Light became the way he is, so basically it ties in, this is how Light is at the start of the manga. And I'm like, you kind of failed on that miserably.
Yeah.
So, let me get this straight. He was originally American, moved to Japan, changed his name, had a different girlfriend who also decided to find a Death Note.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense in that regard.
It's sort of there are some giant plot holes.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, are there plot holes in this?
Drive
Basically-
carefully, avoid plot holes.
Yeah.
I chalk this all up to writing. The writing is
Right.
atrocious.
Because one of the complaints I had was he uses the book a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a point where he's trying to get Mia,
Mm-hmm.
his girlfriend. They have a weird relationship.
Being it subtly.
Yeah.
It's
He
less
hands her
weird
the
in
book.
movie.
And she's
Yeah.
like, oh, and Ryuk's like, oh, only the owner of the book. So she never sees him, but she uses the book. So that's a little like, what? You know?
Now, what's interesting about Mia/Misa is, like, I have actually watched and read other critiques, and I know a lot of people actually didn't like what was done with Mia's character.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They didn't like that she went from having this complexity of wanting to serve Kira to now suddenly being a mastermind. They felt like it cheapened her character, and while I can understand those critiques,
Yeah.
I don't agree with them.
Right.
But I do feel that they should be addressed.
I agree with you, and I will say this. Mia was one of the more interesting characters.
Yeah, I actually
agree.
thought
She
was.
really was.
Yeah.
But that was only because they bent ass backwards trying to make Light a likable character. They tried to make him not the villain. He is the villain, and you're trying to make him likable.
Why?
I think it's because having a villain as a main character is something you, as we discussed in our anime review, which we will post a link to down below, check it out so you get an understanding of our thoughts on this anime, is the problem that a lot of American audiences have trouble relating to a villainous character at times, I think. If this had been shot as a crime drama, I think this would have been done a lot better. This was shot as an angsty teen with a hard R rating, basically,
Yeah.
because of the gore.
But that bothers me because Light didn't actually choose gore in most instances.
That is another
he
big
chose
plot hole.
under the radar kind of things, whereas
Mhm.
this Light, the anime Light would usually choose very under the radar things. This one, I feel like his
Yeah.
character, in my opinion, reflects the worst parts of our culture because, as
Yeah.
you mentioned, people would apparently just rather be beat over the head with things instead of enjoy nuance.
I agree. So, in that regard, that also...
Basically, the first part of the movie, I felt like okay, they remade Final Destination
Yes,
and
thank
then
you.
added a notebook.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, no, that sums it up. It was
Yeah.
And the
straight up.
God of Death.
yeah.
If you wanted to make Final Destination, make another Final Destination. Please don't, for the love of God, stop those films.
No.
Please. Just stop. Well, since we're talking about plot holes, oh yeah, I kind of went off on that tangent time. Lift that jar
I
up.
kind of feel like the Final Destination was a tiny bit as well.
Oh yeah. But,
So Ted, pay up.
I did already.
I did.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's what encouraged me to do it. Say this about it. There are a lot of writing plot holes, and I'm going to point out a few of the ones that bug me the most. In the beginning of the movie, after he's committed the first murder, he's reading through the rules of the Death Note, which they're all listed, which, as we all know from the anime, only a handful were actually listed in the notebook originally. In this one, there are over 96 rules, all listed. And they've also included new rules and changed the rules from the anime, which in itself opened up a bunch of plot holes. One of which being, it said, as Light is reading the Death Note, it says any piece of the Death Note can be used to kill.
Right.
And then in the margins, and we're going to throw up a picture of this really quick.
Don't trust Ryuk. Hey, kid. It's pronounced Ryuk.
As I said, William Dafoe, best part of this whole film. But,
Yeah, but they even changed Ryuk's role.
Oh, big
he
time.
went from being an amused spectator to being an active, like, nudger of things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Someone needed to nudge it, because,
Yeah.
you know, the
Oh
movie
yeah, it wasn't
wasn't
moving
going
along.
anywhere.
But
Yeah.
the problem with that scene is they just said any part of the notebook can be used if you write the person's name in it. And then later on, and we're going to throw up a picture of this really quick.
I'm gonna put your name in it.
You could try. But I warn you, there are 4 letters in my name. Most anyone's ever gotten were 2.
What about the person who wrote the warning?
Yeah.
That's, you just contradicted yourself
Yeah.
big time
He
right
wrote the warning.
No, he didn't.
Really?
No?
No,
Oh.
Ryuk did not write the warning. Somebody
That's
else
good.
did.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought he did.
No, why would he? Why it says don't trust? Why would he say don't trust Ryuk?
I mean,
If
unless,
it's
you know, he seems like the
Yeah,
type of
fair
person to
enough.
kind of screw with you that
no,
way. But-
probably, but I
Yeah.
mean,
But I mean, I'm just saying, if Ryuk is especially one for drama, and he very clearly is, especially in this version of it, why wouldn't he put it out there just to see who's going to be stupid enough to do it?
true.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it just comes across as a plot hole, in my opinion.
I agree.
Another big plot hole, which I am confused to heck about why this happened, was towards the very end when Mia basically takes the notebook out of Light's house to protect him.
Yeah.
And then tells him where it is, and then does this huge reveal, and then says, "Give me the notebook." Bitch, you already had it. Why did you just keep it?
Yeah.
It made no sense. I mean, the only benefit you get from being the actual quote-unquote owner of the Death Note is being able to see Ryuk.
Yeah.
That's the only benefit
And that's not even a real
In
big
this
deal,
mythos.
honestly.
in this mythos,
Yeah.
yeah. And it made no sense at all.
What about Elle? What about what they did to my beautiful baby Elle?
Oh,
Oh.
hell.
I mean,
butchered,
okay, first of all, things I liked about Elle. Diversity in casting. The initial crouching position, and he's starting that cat and mouse. I'm like, okay, things are starting to get good. Then he turns into, like, a really angry crybaby.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
emotional, extremely emotional
And,
wreck.
like, he crumbles under pressure. I'm like, this
It
is
was-
not Elle.
Yeah,
He
he
does
was
not
like-
crumble under pressure. I mean, yeah, I agree. He was very all over the place in terms of
Yeah, because he was just...
emotional presentation.
Well, that's what I'm just like, he's like... In one part, he's like, oh, I'm calm and collected, and I know exactly what's going on. And then he's like, "Rah!"
Not to mention, why is it he's getting chastised by all the authorities? He's fucking Elle.
Okay.
He's like the best of the best in terms of detectives, and they're like, now.
Yeah.
Because
I'm like,
They
no,
don't know
he's
how to write.
not.
Yeah.
He's not a child. He is not somebody who needs like admonition.
Mhm.
Okay.
What the way I did it is the problem I had was the dialogue. The dialogue was like somebody. It's like, okay, I'm gonna have my 5-year-old watch Death Note, the anime, and then they're gonna transcribe it, and then I'll write a script from that.
I think that's an insult to 5-year-olds.
Yeah, it is.
Probably.
And I mean, I don't mean to be so mean because the director that you mentioned
Adam
before,
Wingard.
yeah,
He's done some
he
good stuff.
actually ended up deleting his Twitter account over this.
Oh.
And I mean, I don't want to like be the person who's like encouraging internet bullying just because I didn't like it.
Yeah.
We don't encourage
One
that at
thing-
all.
That sounded sarcastic.
No, I mean that. We don't encourage
No.
it at all. Honestly,
No.
do not bully people online.
Right,
It's
right.
a dick move. We do not support that at
Right.
all.
Yeah. It's not
But
cool.
I mean, like, it just, on the one hand, I like where Elle maybe went dark for a second and took out that piece of the notebook and it looked like maybe he was going to do a thing. Like, it's not really his style, but if he had to go some kind of way, I'm glad he was proactive about it.
He grabbed a gun and chased. That chase scene was horrible.
I'm not talking
Yeah.
about the chase scene.
No,
I'm talking about the very end when
I
he
know
lights
about
in
that.
the hospital.
I can
Oh.
understand that, but I'm
That-
just saying from
yeah.
the chasing, him grabbing the gun, which, can I bring up the fact that that gun was modeled after the gun from Blade Runner? He randomly had a Blade Runner gun.
I mean, that's cool, but it had no real purpose.
Yeah.
It's cool, but it
Yeah.
didn't really have context in the movie.
Well, no, he had
But
the.
I mean,
oh.
like, back to what I was saying about Adam Wingard, like, even with all of my issues concerning the film,
Mhm.
you know, I do appreciate that he tried. I do appreciate that he tried. It sucks that he's apparently received so much hate that he couldn't take it. I mean, just because I didn't like the film, just because I had my issues with it,
Yeah.
most of which is pacing. I'm not
Yeah.
excuse me, saying it had to be an exact copy, but
Oh, no.
I mean, just if it, I feel like it required a little more rounding, and there are movies that have proven that they can round these kinds of things out. Even if he had had to go 2 hours instead of an hour and a half, just, it would have been fine, but even though we're tearing this to shreds right now,
Right.
just, I don't know. I feel guilty about it
Well, that's
because
the
of
thing.
what
I
happened
mean-
with Adam Wingard.
I
You know,
mean, we're-
honestly.
Our-
Sorry, I
we're-
guess
we're
I will pay for that. I
Oh,
don't
no,
know if
it's
it's a tangent,
okay.
but
I don't think so.
I don't think it's really, but if you want to pay, by all means.
No.
But if I may interject, okay? I actually liked some of the stuff Adam Wingard has worked on. He worked on Your Next, which was a very good horror film from a few years back, alright?
okay.
The man can direct. I just think he was in a no-win situation with this film.
Yeah.
Because, I'm sorry, when you adapt something as beloved and has a rabid fan base like this,
Rabid. We
Rabid.
are. We are
Rabid.
rabid. We've proven we're rabid.
so he was in a no-win situation. He tried something, it didn't work. I do not push the blame onto him. I push the blame onto the writing.
I agree with
Solely
that.
onto the writing.
I agree with
Yeah.
that.
Though
I've
I
been saying that for
will
weeks.
Admit to one or two other things, film choice-wise. The musical choices were very odd.
So 80s. Two
I-
80s.
Disagree. There's no such thing as 280s in my book, but
Fair
This
enough.
was. This
Yes,
was.
this one
but-
was very
And
280s.
Stu will tell you why.
All right. First off, if your film is not set in the 80s, you probably shouldn't have all your music sounding exactly like the 80s. It doesn't fit because every single person is using smartphones, cell phones, and all these high-tech gadgets, and you randomly have 80s music playing. Even the stuff they're just casually listening to and dancing to is from the 80s.
I understand, like, the dance song maybe being from the 80s now and then, because sometimes you will get a throwback at a dance.
Maybe, but
you're
the
right, everything being fucking 80s?
everything was 80s. All the music. There was synthesizer music in this.
No, I agree with you.
I didn't have a problem with it, but I'm an 80s nut.
No,
Because,
that's fine.
I love 80s
Yes.
music too,
Same
but
here,
I
because
think
it is rad and gnarly.
I think what you need though is like for it to fit the vibe of the movie. This was not. I feel like actually the 80s music did kind of.
Distract from it a bit.
No, it created a different tone for the movie, which is
Well-
probably part of why we feel the way we do about
thing
it. I
about-
mean,
oh.
not quite done there, Teddy.
Oh.
Sorry.
Mhm.
The thing about the 80s music and like it becoming this angsty teen would-be dramedy, honestly. Oh, he goes to prom and will she like him back and there's that.
I think it was Homecoming, but same difference.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
It's
know.
cool
Oh, yeah.
dance.
But here's the thing. I just thought of it. They wanted to make Donnie Darko again. It's trying to be Donnie Darko.
Yeah.
It really, like, the guy even looks like Jake Gyllenhaal did in that movie somewhat.
Yeah.
See what I mean, though? Like, it created a vibe. They were trying for teen drama, which is probably why
yeah.
they went with the 80s music.
Donnie Darko, I gotta pay off for that one.
Sorry, you
Oh, I
were
was gonna
saying,
help you.
Ted, but I just,
Well,
I had
I mean,
to get through that. They were trying so
the thing
hard
was, like,
for teen drama. They couldn't go with 90s music, because that would have been too on the nose.
to be honest, I forgot about the 80s music because I didn't really notice it. Just because I was trying to process what I was watching.
Right.
So I think, like, I didn't hear it as much. I wasn't really listening for it because I'm an 80s nut. You know, like, in my mind, 80s music fits everywhere, but that's me. So.
I will say this. Soundtracks can either make or break a film sometimes.
Agreed.
Alright, so let's look at, and I
The
will pay
soundtrack
attention.
for Megamind, I'll pay for this, was phenomenal.
I've never seen that movie, oddly enough.
Maybe that's what I'll be choosing later.
Okay. I personally think that the soundtracks to, let's say, Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2 are some of the best soundtracks.
Yes.
That takes music from different genres, different eras and stuff, and it works really well because when it fits the scene and it fits with the characters very well.
Yes.
The music.
Exactly. They vary it to fit everything.
This felt like they were trying to cash in on the 80s because...
Everybody else is, because
Well,
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things, thank
Yeah.
you, yes, big
Yeah.
time. I got that vibe from it.
Something else that kind of struck me as, like building off of what you said, even more than them going, oh, you know, it's in 80s music, so let's do that. I think someone just created a favorite 80s playlist and then just, like, decided to put it in random spots in the movie.
Yeah.
They're like, this spot needs a song. I really like this one. Let's go with this. Not does it fit what's happening here. They're just like, I like this song. So basically, like, if I were to go early 2000s and I just created a playlist while, Light Turner's, like, writing in his books, maybe I'm just playing Oops, I Did It Again. Like, yeah.
I could kind of see if they went with, now some people are probably going to crucify me for this, but I could kind of see if they went with some My Chemical Romance music
That
for
would
it.
have made sense.
That could have worked pretty well.
I mean, if they're going for teen
It's
angst,
not
there's
okay,
plenty
Stuart.
of current teen
It's
angst.
not okay.
I like My Chemical Romance, so I'm very okay
yeah,
with
I
that.
actually really enjoyed Welcome to the Black Parade, I will
Oh,
admit.
no, I love
Yeah.
that song.
They
Yes, it's
said
great.
all teenagers scare the living shit out of me.
Yeah, or if you really wanted to ham it up a bit, okay. If they really wanted to ham it up a bit, I'll pay up, I know, I have to pay for that one. They could have used that song, What If God Was One of Us?
Yeah.
I mean, come on!
Oh my God, that
It could have
Actually,
fit.
I think that would have been perfect.
It would have been, and I've been
It
thinking
would've.
about that. Or, I mean, it's
Joan
just...
Osborne. I will never say no to Joan Osborne.
Is that who wrote it? I was trying
Yeah,
to remember.
Joan Osborne.
Okay, thank
That's
you.
our next show. We're going to start designing soundtracks for stuff.
Or maybe AMVs, who knows?
There you go.
Ill-fitted soundtracks.
Ill-fitted soundtracks, yes, that sounds fun. Let's see. I have actually some notes here I want to bring up.
Yeah, let's follow the script for
A
once.
little bit. Let's see. Light pulls out the Death Note in random public spaces.
No, we talk about the fact that he shares it with her 2 seconds
Seconds after meeting her.
Right.
Oh my god.
He's like, hey, I just found this book that, like, kills people. Do you want to see it? Like, I like you. Will you fuck me?
Well,
Pretty
that's-
much.
That's the thing. Like, this
And
light
it
is more.
worked!
This light
Bitches
is more.
love notes of death.
Apparently,
Damn straight.
They
Yeah.
love notes.
Mhm.
And
They do.
if death happens, man.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's
This
that's
doesn't
why
work
he was
at
so
all.
relatable. He's just like, I don't know, this
Thank you.
book is like really important to me and it's powerful. And she's like, vagina? It's like, okay.
Yeah, here you go. Have at it. Literally.
He's like, it's powerful.
See, that
like
plot-
my penis.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That
Oh.
plot point I understood.
Let's see, what else?
And so did she. Heyo.
Right.
Let's see.
But then she's like, you know what's more powerful than your penis? Mine, sweetheart.
Can we address the fact that Light kills Watari despite not
Yeah.
knowing his name? Because
Wait.
apparently
How did he do that?
because apparently this film assumes Japanese people have one name.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Didn't he know his name?
He wrote down Watari.
Yeah.
He didn't write down his full name, and for the Death Note to work, you have to write out the full name.
And you also have to be able to see
their face. Yes.
Which was super lazy writing.
He never met Watari. that I can think of.
No.
He only knew about him in passing.
And he's all like trying to say that, oh shoot, I'm sorry, and trying to get him out of there, like.
Oh, that did not make any sense. Oh, there is one thing I want to point out, which was kind of interesting but didn't really fit.
What?
At certain points in the film, if you pause it just right, Ryu pops up in corners, or like little flashes, like Tyler Durham in Fight Club.
That's
Okay.
cool.
Yeah, I noticed that going through it when I was pausing for reference shots and
That's
stuff.
good, actually, because otherwise, honestly, he had such a small role in the film, except when he was occasionally nudging
Yeah.
things, that I almost didn't even see the point of him being there.
Right.
Even though I appreciate the voice acting.
As I said, best part of the film, underutilized and misunderstood. That sums up basically all the characters. None of them.
Except for Mia. I did like Mia.
Mia was I gotta say, Mia was the second best thing about this whole film, but that was because she acted more Light-like
Yeah.
than Light did.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think that's a good point to pretty much end it. What do you guys think? Anything else we really need to discuss about this?
I can't think of nothing.
Not offhand.
If you want to see at least decent adaptation of adaptation, what did I say?
Adaptation.
Well, it would be an adaptation, wouldn't it?
I didn't know adaptation was.
Tomato.
alright.
Yeah, whatever.
Adaptation.
Yeah.
Different
Adaptation.
pronunciations, as we
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
If you want to see a good adaptation of this, go see the Japanese one. They've done several live-action movies, and they're pretty good. There's also a TV series right now that is kind of a sequel going on.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yeah, I
Which
think
one
there's
is
a-
that?
it's a live-action TV series.
Japanese?
Japanese, yeah.
For the Death Note?
Yeah, Death Note.
Huh.
Multiple Death Notes are dropped into Japan or something. I don't really
hadn't
know
even
too much
heard
about
I think
about
I'm
that.
going Japanese. I'm
Oh.
going Japanese. I really think so.
Pay for that one now.
I have no idea what's
It's an
going
80s
on.
song
That is
he's
an 80s song.
referencing. I know what he's talking about.
Bringing it around.
All the coins. You're not
Uh,
allowed to talk anymore.
I'm drinking now. So we hope you enjoyed our special Halloween episode for
For Death Note, live action.
action.
Probably the only time we're doing this, and it was just to sort of
Yes.
build off of our previous Death Note.
I'm
We-
going to make a note of this movie.
Seriously, all the
We
coins.
need to do something about your puns.
All the coins right now.
Now!
How much do we have in there? How much?
Enough to beat him up to death with. Get a sock. We're doing this now.
You know what? I think we can buy something with that.
Maybe something to deal with the puns.
Maybe something to deal with the puns.
We'll leave you with that little thought, folks. So, have a safe and happy Halloween. And of course, we are Animation Triad. Lish, Teddy D, and Stu! Happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween!
We hope you get all the
Perfect.
candy!
Get all the candy!
And absolutely no razor blades!
No, those don't taste
Unless that's your thing.
good.
Yeah, takes all types.
I really just hope you get candy.
Yeah.
We'll see you
want
next.
candy.
Alright,
All
we'll
right,
see you
see
next
you guys.
time.
Bye-bye.